Hello everybody. In this video, I will be discussing about the Steppe hypothesis and the Aryan migration theory. What exactly is the Steppe hypothesis? Well, the Steppe hypothesis is a hypothesis that links the spread of Indo-European languages from the Eurasian steppe region to the Pontic-Caspian steppes. It's the region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, and that's the proposed homeland according to the Steppe hypothesis. So, the Yamnaya culture are the Proto-Indo-European speakers, according to this theory. So, they were pastoralists who domesticated horses, and they used wheeled wagons to move around. It's not a chariot, though, okay? Just pay attention. It's not a chariot. The chariots were invented by the Sintashta culture. This is completely according to the Kurgan hypothesis or the Steppe hypothesis. I'm not going to discuss further on this. I'm just trying to explain to you what the general narrative is. So they used wheeled wagons for enhancing their mobility, and they spread into Europe. So inside Europe, they mixed with the native population, and they formed other populations and other cultures. So let me explain it to you in a very simple language. The Yamnaya, they move westwards, and then they mix with the Kordadwar people. The Kordadwar people were somewhere around this region, Poland or north of Germany, Denmark, yeah, that region. So they expanded in different directions. First, we have the Belbeaker people. The Belbeaker people give rise to Celtic groups or the Italic groups. The Kordadwar culture also gives birth to another culture called the battle axe culture. The battle axe culture is the ancestor of Nordic people and all of those, Germanic, yeah. And then we have the Eastern Kordadwar. Pay attention to this. Kordadwar was present in North Germany, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, around that region, and they moved further east, and they reached the Yamnaya homeland, the Pontic-Caspian steppe, but they went further east to that. So they went till Kazakhstan and all of those areas, okay, and then they moved further down to South Asia and into Iran. But the culture that's associated with the Eastern Kordadwar would be, the first one would be Fatyanovo culture, which is somewhere around Moscow region, and then from there we go further east, then we get the Sintashta culture, and then we go further south and east. You have a more bigger area covered, and that's called the Andronovo culture. So Sintashta, Andronovo, and then you have Andronovo interacting with the Bactria Margiana archaeological complex, the people of that region, and then from there they enter into Iran, and then they enter into South Asia. In Iran, they enter through the Bactria Margiana, and into Indus, they enter after the Harappan civilization ends. So we have Aryans entering into India during the post-Indus period. But there's also a debate, or a kind of, not a proper consensus on whether the Aryans mixed with the BMAC people before entering into India, or they just directly entered into India, because of several reasons. Like, BMAC is not really a significant contributor to South Asian genetics. Unlike if you compare it with Sintashta people, or you can call it Andronovo, both are genetically the same. This component is quite significant in South Asian populations compared to the BMAC, which is more prevalent in Iranian populations, Iranic people in general. What else have I missed? Yes, the Sintashta and the Andronovo people are called the Proto-Indo-Iranians. I hope you know what Proto-Indo-Iranian means, the ancestors of Aryans. This is the Steppe hypothesis, basically, and there are also theories on whether the Gandhara grave culture or the cemetery edge culture or the OCP culture is currently a very controversial one. But yeah, there are debates on whether those cultures are a result of steppe people migrating inside of India. There's actually a very big debate on whether the Aryan migration really happened, or if it was an invasion or a migration, or whether the Andronovo people were Indo-Iranian speakers, or they spoke some other Indo-European language, perhaps. Well, we'll discuss this in another video, but for now, I just wanted to explain to you what's the general consensus. The steppe theory is the most popular theory right now, but it's also the most weak one, in my opinion, because if you have a closer look at it, you'll find many flaws in the theory. So yeah, I just want you to look at all of the theories that are present with a critical point of view. So you don't have to really just consider this theory to be the best to explain everything. I'm not even telling you to consider another theory like the Anatolian or the South Caucasus or out of India theory. I'm not telling you to just go to that, but study the Steppe hypothesis, study the other hypotheses that exist, and try to compare, try to use your logic. You have your logic, so try to make use of it. That's all for this video. Thank you.